All right, here with Realwood, 65 kilogram for Team USA freestyle. Real, for coming into this year, what gave you the confidence that you could make this team?
I feel like I already had the confidence instilled in me since I grew up. It's just something that's like ingrained in my identity, I'd say.
Yeah. Did you always know that freestyle was what you wanted to do post-collegiate? Was there a pull to MMA or maybe things outside of wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a clear picture into what I did want to do. It's kind of hard when you're young, even young in college, to be able to just have a certain picture what you want to do when you're becoming an adult, because that's when you really become an adult. And so I had a lot of ideas, like you said, MMA. I mean, I want to go to med school and pursue my education more. And so I had a lot of different ideas, but so I wasn't certain, no, but after my final year of college, I really knew that when I was making that transition and I took some time to reflect, I knew that this is something that I want.
Is part of that just because, did you feel, I don't know if the word, just like maybe a little bitter taste?
Unfulfilled, sure.
Yeah.
That definitely was part of it. I'm not gonna sit here and say it wasn't, because I didn't get what I wanted to. And I think in pursuing something as high level as we are, even if I do win an Olympic championship, I'm sure it's not gonna look as perfect as you could have it, maybe. So I mean, that's always part of it, but really what drove me into wrestling freestyle is just my love for the sport and my growing love for the sport. I love the sport now and a lot more than I loved it when I was 21 years old, when I was 14 years old, when I was 6 years old, So my growing love for the sport is really the reason why I'm in this.
Your limited experience in freestyle wrestling, what would you say is the number one thing you've taken away from your time wrestling in freestyle?
Is that wrestling's wrestling? We all have, for me, I've always had a feel for the sport. It's not like my feel went away. The rules changed a little bit. And yeah, there's an adjustment to that. But the reality of it is the depth of who I am as a wrestler made up for the change of the rules and the adjustments I made maybe in the front headlock and my parterre. So because I was able to, I just like, think about it like a wrestler transitioning to jiu-jitsu, and wrestlers transition very quickly. So it's similar to that.
For you, I feel like you've taken the positive aspects of the transition and you've seamlessly implemented some really good parterre offense. You mentioned the head pinches. What has been the area maybe on the flip side that you've had to be more cognizant of, whether it's parterre defense or something, being more cautious when you do shoot? What's maybe those lessons?
Yeah, finishing up and through my shots right away. The urgency that it takes in freestyle versus folk style has been a massive focus in my wrestling. Without that emphasis, I would get myself into trouble a lot. I shoot a lot of low shots, and oftentimes when you do that, you might get caught up underneath there. And if you do, you have to be smart and be real technical down there and make sure that you're safe where you don't get exposed, crotch lift, chest lock, things like that. So I make sure to put a lot of emphasis on that and get up and through, get myself in a good position, and that's a big reason why. That's a big focus of mine that if I didn't put emphasis on, I would be in trouble.
Right. I haven't talked to you since, I talked to you right the day before Final X, but I haven't talked to you since. As the dust has settled on that 2 out of 3 with McKenna, the 2 matches, what were your takeaways from that performance?
My takeaways were that I can continue to wrestle for 6 minutes, and it's, I knew that it's just a matter of putting it into fruition. And I did it, and I had done it previously. It's just that, it just felt good to be able to continue to attack and look for opportunities, even when I do have the lead. And then I knew on the flip side, that'd never be a problem if I'm down or if the score is tied. It's really when I've got a lead to be able to continue to seek opportunities and in a safe, smart manner. But to be able to do that is important, and I did make that happen.
Yeah, your weight is one of the only weight classes that had the two finalists returning from the Olympics. You got to wrestle Amazad, get a feel there. What did you take away from that experience?
I took away where he's best, right? And wrestling, if anyone knows wrestling, they know that you've got to wrestle your match where you're best. And so when I was in that match in the first period, I did a really good job of wrestling where I was best from space and even in my ties and limiting where he was best, even if he got there, clearing right away. And that priority changed a little bit going into the second period as I kind of gained a little more, I got a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
And that, worked against me because I opened up a little bit and I let him get where he was best more than I realized was threatening, and he took advantage of it. So what I learned most was not letting him get to where he's best.
Yeah.
You know?
But if you end up hitting him, you could hit him. You're unseated. You could hit him round one. Are you feeling like, okay, I know what I need to do differently this time?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you watch his Olympic final against Kyuka?
Yep.
And what were your thoughts there? Because, I've watched Amazad for years. He beat Yanni in the world finals. He's really good. And he seems like he can get to his underhook on anyone. And the Kyuka, for whatever reason, was able to completely prevent it. Did you see something there that was unique?
Yeah, I think prioritizing your position in terms of where you're, because I think there's something that's crucial about his ability to get to the underhook really well against everyone, and it's the fact that he can get to it from space. He doesn't need to just pull your head down to open up your armpit. He can jump there from literally, a good amount of distance. Kind of you think about it like a Burroughs double leg from distance. He gets there in that kind of manner, but to the underhook. So being able to not relax, understand that he can get there anywhere and be ready for that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Kyuka? How much have you watched of him? He is the Olympic champion. He had a crazy match with Sebastian Rivera. I'm not sure if you saw that one at the Olympics, but just your overall impressions of him.
Yeah, he's talented. We're all very high level. He has a lot of tools, and I also have a lot of tools. He's athletic. He's quick. But I think guys who wrestle with space and are quick, and he's a good hand fighter, but I say the guys that wrestle most similarly to my style, I have the advantage, because I feel like I have better physicality. I'm quicker, I'm more explosive, I'm stronger, so.
Yeah. Maybe the dream match for me at 65 would be you, and let's hope it's like a world final, would be you against Sebastian Rivera. Have you ever trained with him? Have you ever rolled with Sebastian Rivera? Any ever? I don't think you ever competed against him.
I did at the NCAA.
Okay.
Yeah, and
He was at Rutgers?
He was, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It was on the backside. I don't remember the result. I know I lost, but I don't remember how it went exactly. I do remember feeling a lot of success and then getting caught. I forgot exactly. I think I got hip tossed or something.
Okay.
But I've got to, research all my opponents and make sure that I'm prepared.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But now you've got to watch him a little internationally. What are your thoughts on his kind of progression?
He's done well, especially positionally. He does really well, staying in good position and getting you to make yourself vulnerable, and then he attacks and then he strikes. And that's a skill.
Yeah. What has been maybe your favorite part since making the team, or the thing maybe you're most excited about with this world team process?
Just training.
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just training for a world title. That's the best part. It's the most entertaining part for me. Is I'm not training for the world trials. I'm not training for the U.S. Open or Final X. I'm training to be a world champion, and that's the most exciting part for me.
Yeah. You're at Stanford and then Iowa, and you made the decision to go from Iowa to Cliff Keen. What went into that decision?
A lot went into it. Essentially, it was a matter of that transition from finishing college and finishing college sports and everything to do with college, the school, education aspect, and sitting down with yourself and reflecting on what you need moving forward. And it was as simple as that. And I think that I needed a fresh start. And that had a lot of factors going into that decision, but I think I needed a fresh start. And Michigan is a phenomenal place for that because of all the tools that you have, resources around you, and great minds, coaches, teammates. I mean, I'm surrounded by the best of the best, I believe.
Who are the difference makers for you there?
All the coaches, Sean Bormat, Kevin Jackson, Alex Derringer's RTC coach, all my partners, Austin Gomez, Will Luwan. He's a little bigger now. But
I saw the picture.
Yeah.
His arms were huge.
Yeah, he's getting big. They brought in guys, Lachlan McNeil, Sergio Lemley's there. He's a great feel. There's a ton of guys. Coach Josh Torella is just a phenomenal partner for me. I'd say my best partner.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I've got a lot of really good tools around me.
So I've talked to you a little bit about this, but I want to maybe go maybe one level deeper. Like,
Okay.
I've watched Team USA, I've watched international wrestling a long time, and I've never seen someone just kind of burst on the scene and just have insane top. There's guys in terms of turning ability, like that have been on teams for years and years, and they don't have the turning ability you've been able to create for yourself. How is that able to happen?
I think my ability to learn, like I'm open to changing. I'm open to development. I'm not so stubborn on exactly how I like to do things, and I am in certain aspects, but when it comes down to it, I'm gonna take advice wholly, and then evaluate and see what works for me, feel what works for me, and then take it from there. And that's essentially what I did. I'd never had a gut wrench before this year. I didn't know how to do a gut wrench, and I learned the technique and I applied it. And I had somewhat of a head pinch, just like messing around in the room previous years, maybe like going in the room in the summer or something and playing around, because I never really wrestled in the summer or competed at all. But I had like somewhat of a head pinch, but I never, it wasn't solid. So that's something I developed a little more, fine-tuned. I guess just my ability my openness to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that something you've always had? Have you always been like just totally open-minded, coach, what do you got? Or take a experience?
Yeah, it goes both ways. You've got to have a balance with it. Like, I'm very, very stubborn in the things that, I know that are going to win me matches.
Compromising about certain things.
Yes, there is absolutely compromise. And I'm the kind of athlete where I'm going to communicate with you. Like if there's something that I might not see eye to eye with you on, we're going to communicate about it, and then we're going to come to a decision together, and we're both going to see each other's perspective. And more often than not, you're my coach, right? Mm-hmm. You have more wisdom than I do in the sport. So I'm going to take give you the benefit of the doubt most of the time. But of course, I've got to be able to get there, So you communicate with your coaches, right?
Do you think a lot of athletes maybe have those same thoughts that you have, but don't express them, and then maybe that holds them back, and you kind of lose that level of communication?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it can go both ways. Maybe you're overextending yourself in some, and I see that in a lot of high-level athletes. Maybe they're overextending themselves and changing their wrestling too much to where, little parts of their wrestling too much to where they get away from things that they're really good at because they didn't go through that communication phase. And then there's also guys who are stubborn and just brush it off and don't consider any coaching advice. Mm-hmm. And those are the guys you kind of see are known as not coachable. And then the wrestler A that I was talking about is almost like too, it's like you've got to have a ground on what you're good at. You've got years in the sport. You're high level. If you're successful, it's good. You know what you're good at. Communicate through it. Find out how to connect it. And once you connect your perspective with your coach's perspective, that makes greatness.
Yeah, clearly. Well, Real, this has been great. Tyler, do you have any questions for Real?
No, I appreciate all the nice things you said about Michigan.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's all real, man. It's all real.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your time, Real. Best of luck.
Yeah.
Can't wait to watch you in Croatia.
Yeah, thank you.